back to At Home with the Tasting Spoon. Today I have a very special recipe I'm about to show you. And can you guess what is the base? You guessed it, pumpkin. So we are taking our traditional pumpkin pie and taking it to the next level. Imagine pumpkin pie meets cheesecake combined together. This is what we're working on today. It's so good, it's so creamy. For those of you guys that maybe do not like pumpkin pie, I highly recommend you to try this recipe, because to be honest with you, I'm not a fan of pumpkin pie, but this, it's so good. So good. So this recipe can be used for any get together that you may have now in the holidays. Take in now Halloween or even Thanksgiving. It's the perfect dessert to bring to your family and friends as a gift, or maybe if you're doing a small get-together dinner. I know COVID is still upon us, but it can make a special get-together. Tie it all up. So let's get started. Right now we are going to start with our pie crust dough, and then we are going to migrate into our filling. Why? Because our pie crust needs to refrigerate for a couple of minutes, half an hour in our fridge. So in that meantime, we can make our filling. I'm so excited to show you this recipe. So let's get started. Alrighty, so like I said before, we are going to start with our pie crust. So the best thing to do here, 2 tips. 1, food processor. It makes it so easy to make any pie crust. I'm telling you, bam, 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 you're gonna have pie crust. Now, our ingredients right here must be cold. This will actually help you incorporate that pie crust and make it flaky and combine all together perfectly well. So remember, cold ingredients and your food processor. So let's begin. So first we're gonna add our flour, all-purpose flour. Remember, I put all the detailed recipe in the comment box below for you guys. And then afterwards, we're gonna add our salt. This, we're going to just pulse for about 5 seconds. All we did right now is combine the dry ingredients and just break apart a little bit that flour, okay? So now comes the fun part. We're gonna add our butter. So our butter must be cubed like so. It helps incorporate a little bit better, okay? So we're just gonna add a little bit at a time. And then we're gonna pulse. See, that's what you want, for it to start incorporating, okay? All of our chunks of butter have been incorporated nicely. Now we can add our water. Okay, so you want to add your water slowly while we pulse. It's coming together. This is exactly what we want. You see this consistency right here? This is perfect. So now we are ready to take it out and knead it for a couple of seconds. Alrighty, I have my cutting board ready. I've dusted a little bit of flour. And look at this. Okay, so we're just gonna dump it right in here. You see how it is already coming together? All those beautiful air pockets for that butter. Beautiful. Super easy. We're just gonna knead it and form it into a ball. All of those bits to coming together. Flour is very important so it doesn't stick in your surface, okay? And it doesn't stick in your hands. It makes it more manageable. Ta-da! Right, so first thing is first, we are going to start with our cream cheese. And our sugar. And our flour. We are going to give this a mix until it's fully incorporated, until creamy consistency, okay? Alrighty, so this is exactly the consistency that we want. You see, it's creamy. So you are going to take half of what you have in here and you're gonna reserve it for our swirl. Okay. Alrighty, now that we have reserved half in a separate bowl, I'm going to add the remaining of the ingredients. So we are going to add our seasonings. So we have ginger, nutmeg, and cinnamon. I'm going to add in our eggs and our beautiful pumpkin puree. Always scrape the edges so you can get everything fully incorporated. Look at this filling. Yum. So I've set this aside, and remember the half of the cream cheese mixture that we saved. So to this, I'm going to add some vanilla and some milk, and I'm going to whip it a little bit. So we have our two fillings. We have our pie crust. Now we are ready to roll it and pre-bake it. Okay? So once you take out your pie crust from the fridge, you just want to wait a couple of minutes until it thaws out just a little bit. Remember that you want this cold. Everything must be cold always when handling a pie crust, okay? So you want to thaw it out so it's actually rollable, but you want to keep it cold, okay? So you're going to dust a little bit, some flour, have your rolling pin, put this in the center. This is the thickness that we want. You see on your sides? This is exactly the thickness that we want. Okay, so I'm going to roll it like so. And just place it over here. Then slowly and gently, you're going to just indent it a little bit into the pie dish. Careful, because remember, it's delicate. Now you are going to take all of this excess and you're just gonna cut it out. Pinch, just a pinch, just a pinch, just a pinch. Alrighty, so our pie crust has been in the fridge for about 30 minutes and in our freezer for about 10 minutes. It's very important that it's cold. Like, you're gonna feel it as rock solid, because we're going to pre-bake it right now, and then we're gonna add our filling and then continue to bake it along. So right now, what it is important is that I'm using a sheet tray on the bottom because I want that heat to transfer to my pie dish. And now I'm going to cover it with aluminum foil. This will help to do the same thing. If you have your aluminum foil in it, you can use your baking weights to put on the bottom, or you can use dry beans as well. I like to use dry beans. Anything to help keep weight so it doesn't inflate, okay? So anything that you may have to put in with that cacao in the oven, it's perfectly fine, okay? So see, it doesn't have to be like super fancy gadgets to do your pre-baking and your blind baking. You can use whatever you have. Dry beans, cast iron, something to keep on the weights, and then a sheet tray, a metal sheet tray, so it actually does heating on the bottom as well. It's perfect. So at 375, we're gonna pop this in the oven for about 8 minutes. Perfect, so we have pre-baked our pie, and now I'm going to take this off. And I'm going to fork the bottom of the pie. Just a couple. This will help also for the pie not to expand on the bottom and just stay flat, okay? Now for the fun part, we're gonna fill it up. Okay. So we have our pumpkin mix. Pour all of that in. And then remember our cream cheese. We're just going to drizzle it a little bit, because remember that we're gonna swirl the top. So we just want to make sure that everything has a little bit of cream cheese, you know? Get those air pockets of cream cheese when it's done. So good, so good, so good. This, I believe, is what makes this the best, to be honest with you. And like sets it apart from a regular pumpkin pie. Okay, perfect. We're ready for swirling. So with a knife, I'm just going to swirl away. You see what I'm doing? Swirling away. Creating like an S shape, if you will. Now that our pie is all swirled up, we are ready to keep on baking it for about 30-35 minutes until everything is set and the crust is golden brown. We are going to keep on baking it at 375. Everyone, so this is the pie that was out of the oven, then refrigerated for at least 4 hours. I always like to leave it overnight. And I just piped some whipped cream and sprinkled some cinnamon on top just to give it that extra decoration. But I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, it's homemade. Can't wait to dig in. And the aroma when you bake it that leaves in your house, it's delicious. Look at this. Smells like fall. Look at this. Look at that gorgeous piece of pie. Look at that crust. Beautiful. Beautiful piece of pie. Are you ready for the taste test? Okay. So good. I have to tell you. Remember that I told you I'm not a fan of pumpkin pie. This one, that addition of the cream cheese takes away a little bit of that pumpkin flavor, so it adds like another depth of flavor and another component and a creamier texture. So it definitely, like, if you don't like pumpkin pie, if you're not that fan of it, try this recipe. I'm telling you, it's gonna change your life. So good. The crust is nice and flaky, it's nice and buttery. The pockets of the cream cheese, oh, that's all about whipped cream. Oh my god, I need another bite. This is fall on a plate. Fall on a plate. Oh my god. So don't forget that I leave all the directions in the comment box below. Don't forget to like, comment, and share to everyone. And subscribe to stay in the know. This pumpkin pie with cream cheese is gonna change your life. And remember, you can do it for this weekend for Halloween if you have a gathering or get together. You can do it for Thanksgiving. All things pumpkin this month, right? And next month as well. So give it a try. Let me know in the comment box below how you like it and if you have any questions. So until next time with At Home with the Tasting Spoon. I'm gonna serve myself a cup of coffee and keep on eating this.